Session and Forex market hour. By the end of this class, you will have the understanding of the trading session and the hour which Forex is traded. We have four types of trading session: Sydney session, which are Sydney session, Tokyo session, London session, and the New York session. The Forex market is open whenever any of these sessions banks are open. Whenever the bank of these sessions, whenever their banks are open, that is when Forex market is open. That is why you have to know that Forex market operates 24 hours in 5 days. 24 hours in 5 days. Because for the first 24 hours in 5 days, for the first hour of the day, the Sydney session banks open. So Forex market have started from that session. Followed to the New York session, the London session, followed to Tokyo session, the London session, and there the New York session. Forex market hour. This is a diagram showing you the market hour on GMT, which means Greenwich Mean Time. This market hour is showing you this diagram you see now is showing the market hour on GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So whenever you are watching this form, you should know the difference between your local time and the GMT time. You should know in order for you to understand what this diagram is saying. So the market hour start, which means the market opens with the Sydney session. They see the day before every other session. The market open with the Sydney session. They see the day before every other session. The markets open at 21 o'clock Sydney session and move through to 23 o'clock when Tokyo session open. Between this 23 o'clock and 5 o'clock, the two sessions rally together and it is called what overlap. We'll get to that. And then at 5 o'clock, the Sydney session closes because the banks in the Sydney section, they closes, and then the Tokyo session take us through in Forex. So they take us through to 7 o'clock. And 7 o'clock, when the Tokyo session is about to go to bed or to close, then the London session take over. They open from 7 o'clock down to 12 o'clock, and the New York session opens and they rally together to 3 o'clock. When the London session closes, when the London session closes, when the London session closes at 3 o'clock, the New York session will take over down to 20. And immediately, 20 o'clock, immediately the New York session closes, the Sydney session will take over. You can see. So London in the Forex work 24 hours in 5 days, Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday are weekend for every Forex trader to backtest their strategy, to have fun with their family. Yes, Forex trader do have fun. Overlaps. Don't mind the numbers here. Don't mind these numbers here. Don't mind them. So overlap. Overlap means the period where two sessions are active or open at the same time. The period where two sessions are active or open at the same time. You can see it here. You see this part that is shaded, the Sydney and Tokyo session. So this is where they overlap. And you see here the continuation of the Sydney and Tokyo session. This is where they overlap. And this is where the London and Tokyo session overlap. The shaded part, you can see it written on it. Overlap, overlap. This is where the London and New York session overlap. You can see it clearly. So let's go back to the previous slide. There's always volatility during overlap. You have to be conscious that there will be some some spike, big spike during overlap. You have to know that. You have to know that. So whenever you are a trade, you should be expecting a bigger spike during this period when markets overlap. You should be expecting a bigger spike. So let's go back to the previous slide. This, so I will explain it better. So the Sydney session opened from 21 o'clock and moved through to 20 o'clock. That is when the Sydney session opens from 21 o'clock down to 20 o'clock, when the Tokyo sessions open, and both of them rally together to 5 o'clock. See, around 5 o'clock, now the Sydney session, they said we are okay, we want to go to bed or want to close for the day. And then only the Tokyo session is there to take all forex traders through to 7 o'clock GMT time. This is GMT time, please be aware that this is GMT time. So at 7 o'clock, when Tokyo is about to close or go to bed, London was open to take all forex traders through. To take all forex traders through. From 7 o'clock down to 12 o'clock, the New York session was open. So both of them rallied together. And in this place where there's overlap, there's always big spike. There's always big spike. You always see a lot of volatility in this place. So you should be careful. And it is good to even trade them, but be careful on your trade during those overlap. Be careful. So at 15 o'clock, when London says, I'm tired, I'm about to go to bed. So the New York session take us through down to 20 o'clock. And immediately the New York session closes, the Sydney session will takes over. I guess you understand the first market hour now and the trading session. We have 4 types of trading session. We should know these overlaps. And then a lot of people do ask, a lot of beginners do ask, what's the best time to trade? Okay, if we have 4 trading sessions, so what was the best time to trade? For me, there's no best time to trade. You get it? It all depends on you, the trader. Your ability to easily spot entries in any of these trading sessions, your time zone, or your trading style. You get it? And another thing, for instance, if you are a very patient person and you are scared of taking high risks, I will recommend you stick to the low volatility session, which are the Sydney session and the Tokyo session. Yes, you stick to them if you are a very patient person, because they move slowly. Those sessions move slowly. Yes. And if you want a high volatility, big price movement, it's it's best you just stick to London and New York session, because during those 2 sessions, there's always big price movement, volatility in the market, London and New York session. And I want you to know that the London session is the most traded session in Forex. The London session is the most traded session in Forex, followed by the New York session and the Tokyo, then before Sydney session. So this session between 7 o'clock to 15 o'clock, they are the most traded. So between these where they overlap, please be careful whenever you want to take trade in this period of overlap. Be careful, because there's always a big spike. That is when you will always hear first that it took my stop loss and what going my direction, or and went in my direction. So you always hear some trader say so. So because they are not careful of the session that they are. So you have to be careful, be vigilant on the session that you are. So you don't have such statement. Ah, he took me out and later went in my direction. Oh, 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 oh. That's it. I best you understand trading session, the forex market hour, overlaps, and you understand the best time to trade. It depends on you. Yes, it depends on you.